Welcome into this week's AEW Dynamite Rundown. I'm your host, Josh Kimmel, of course, of the No Holds Barred Wrestling Channel Network. Man, I was live last night here on Real Talk Wrestling with Chris Koffler, El Ginger Americano, and we had a heavy discussion on the just pro wrestling, the state of pro wrestling in 2026. In the summer of 2026 specifically, and how it's not lived up to the hype, and people are kind of calling out creative decisions just in the WWE, AEW, everywhere. Pro wrestling seems down. And I just had a big rant last night on Real Talk Wrestling about why I think it's down. And I think it's the main event scenes on SmackDown, Raw, and Dynamite. But tonight, and I say tonight, on Wednesday night, things finally get heated up between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. We finally got to see some sort of heat manufactured with the Young Bucks being involved, Jon Moxley being involved. This is kind of like real life. And what I mean by real life is not everything is black and white. Not everything is babyface versus heel. Not everything is good versus evil. And on Real Talk Wrestling last night, we discussed how every single main event for the main title on their show is babyface versus babyface. On SmackDown, you have CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, which you'll see tonight on SmackDown. Who knows what's going to happen, but is it going to be another love fest between the two? Good guy versus good guy. Then on Raw, you have Roman and Seth. Roman is supposed to be the heel, but people cheer him like he's the next coming of, well, he is Roman Reigns. And he gets the Roman Reigns, OTC. Even when Seth Rollins is cutting a babyface promo, we hear OTC. But they also cheer for Seth. So another program where it's babyface versus babyface. Another, I respect you and I need to beat you to prove myself and prove my legacy. And you've never beaten me, Roman, but you're the top dog. It's just a love fest. And then we have, of course, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. And that is the true definition of love fest here in pro wrestling. It should have been MJF. It should have been MJF versus Will Ospreay in Wembley Stadium, but we didn't get Kenny Omega. I mean, we didn't get MJF. We got Kenny Omega. It's the modern day Vegeta versus Goku, as Will Ospreay said. No heat. No heat whatsoever. All three major championship programs have no heat. So wrestling sucks right now. It sucks. But Dynamite changed a couple things. So before we get into Dynamite and what we watched on Dynamite, the meaningless matches and the not so meaningless matches, you could find us, of course, here live every Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Myself, El Ginger Americano, in Miami Clutch PE for Real Talk Wrestling. Tonight is a special edition of AEW Rundown. Usually I'm at noon. Just life happened and I had to set it for tonight. Usually I'm live noon for the AEW Rundown here on the No Holds Barred Wrestling Channel. And of course, our Saturday show, our premiere show, our flagship show, No Holds Barred, where we discuss the olden days of professional wrestling. Bobby Melendez and myself, we do a pay-per-view PLE recap. We've been doing WrestleManias. We're up to WrestleMania 14. This week, we're taking a break from WrestleMania, so no WrestleMania 15 recap this week because we're covering all three episodes of TNA, Dark Side of the Ring, the story of Jeff Jarrett, the story of TNA. So that's what I'll be doing after this show, is watching episodes 2 and 3. And if you want to watch along, they're on YouTube. Just search up Dark Side of the Ring, Jeff Jarrett, TNA. You're able to watch all three episodes. So come join us on Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Bobby Melendez and myself here on the No Holds Barred Wrestling Channel as we speak about TNA, Jeff Jarrett, and that whole debacle over there. So, all right, enough of the business. Let me take a sip of my water because, man, it was a long show. I'm not going to say it was a good show. I'm not going to say it was a bad show. I'm just going to say it was a show of AEW, and at least they had some sort of story this time. It wasn't just random matches put together for no reason. There's actually tension that built up to the end of the show. It opens up with Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. They're backstage talking about their tag team match tonight. They have a 6-man tag match against the Don Callis family. It's going to be Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and Jon Moxley versus Jobbers. It's fine. It's an all-star team. It's supposed to happen. But Will Ospreay tells Omega, don't play the hero, bruv. Tag me if you need me. Omega fires back with a playful jab. They're laughing. They're joking. No heat. Again, no heat. Jon Moxley gives you an awkward stroll in. You know, just cameos it. Makes a funny face and says, yeah, no tension between y'all. No tension at all. And walks away. I think that was Tony Khan, Jon Moxley, in AEW throwing shade at the IWC because that's all we're complaining about. Which later on, about 2 hours later, we do get tension between Will Ospreay. We do get tension between Kenny Omega. During this backstage segment, we do get Will Ospreay stating that you've got the Billy Goat, you've got Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley on the same team. Nashville, you're in for a treat. My only question is, where was Bobby Melendez? We got the Billy Goat. We got Kenny Omega. We got Jon Moxley. I know Bobby Melendez lives out in Nashville. I don't know where he was for this show. I don't know why he didn't show up. Think about that, Mount Rushmore. Bobby. Brother. See you tomorrow, Bobby. So pretty much we open up Dynamite after that promo with a TNT title match. Why not? Why not defend the title literally every single week on literally every single show against every single babyface that you could probably think of? Darby Allin didn't earn it. Darby Allin just gets a title shot just because he's Darby Allin, which is fine. They do have some kind of a program going, but Kevin Knight's going for the AEW World Championship. What's this thing with Darby? I don't know. It's just another throw-in match, but I'm sure the sickos loved it. It was a fine match. It started with Allin ambushing Kevin Knight before the bell. And it's exactly what you expect from a Darby Allin match. Weapons, tables, chaos. There wasn't any weapons, but chaos, jumping off of things, jumping into things. There was one point where he jumped on top of the ring post, took off the top of it so he can stable himself, and jump into the timekeeper area like a psychopath. He went through the table, and Tony Schiavone, the announcer, laughed at a very serious spot. Just laughed. Look at him go. Look at him fly. Huh? Darby comes up with a bloody face. So funny. So funny, Tony Schiavone. Your baby face is putting his life at risk, and you think this is a joke. That's the problem with indie wrestling. Darby Allin gets his face busted open by the steel steps after Kevin Knight catapults him through them. I've never seen a spot like that. That was pretty cool. I like that spot a lot. That was really, really cool. The match went on forever. I think it was like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The ref got bumped. Kevin Knight used the TNT title as a weapon. 1, 2, 3. After the, what's it called? The UFO splash for the pin. That's a pretty cool move. The 360 or 180 it'd be a 180 frog splash. That match was pretty cool. Or that move was pretty cool. Other than that, just another TNT championship match that Darby Allin loses after being the world champion. How do you go from being the best world champion of all time, according to the sickos, to losing to Kevin Knight in 15 minutes in an opening match in AEW Dynamite? The booking's not consistent whatsoever. No one's special. Everyone's the same. Everyone goes 15 to 20 minutes with everybody. Everybody kicks out of everything like nothing has changed. After the match, Kevin Knight has a little promo with the Don Callis family. pretty much saying I broke Kyle Fletcher's record for the TNT title defenses. I did it without the Don Callis family. This creates more tension between Kyle Fletcher and Kevin Knight and everybody else in the Don Callis family, since they're all heels and they all hate each other for some reason. I don't know why. They're all in a faction, but they all hate each other too. So we get some more tension with Kevin Knight and Kyle Fletcher. So pretty much Fletcher does, after all that, Fletcher gets very defensive, saying, I don't need the Don Callis family. I can do whatever I want. I'm one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Yada, yada, yada. He then does the dumbest thing in the world, which tells me Tony Khan doesn't know how to do anything correctly. He has his heel announce to the world he's banning his family from ringside for no reason. For no reason whatsoever. He has a babyface moment where he says, I'm a good guy now. I'm going to ban all my family from ringside, which doesn't make sense to professional wrestling whatsoever. But that's what we have at the title match. Bandito versus Kyle Fletcher. Everyone is banned from ringside. Why? Because the bad guy said so. We all know the bad guy plays by the rules. The next match, this leads into Bandito versus Brody King or Bandito and Brody King versus Kyle Fletcher and Okada. What can I say about this match other than it was cool? Like, I hate every match on this card is cool. They do cool moves. They do flips. They do kicks. They do kickouts. There's weapons. There's this. There's that. There's double teams. There's innovation. But we didn't need a 20-minute match between these two teams. We just didn't, for no reason. We just didn't need it. We got it. It's fun. I guess I sound like an old dude that just hates fun, but I really don't. I don't. I guess there's a reason, right? It's the setting up. Here's the thing I don't like about this match or this whole everything. We just saw Okada feud with Takeshita about the belt or a belt or some kind of belt, but it took forever and it got nowhere. And it was a lot of like behind the back jealousy, no real promos, no real story. Just I'm jealous of you and you're jealous of me and we're jealous and whatever the case may be. This gives off very heavy once Okada and Fletcher accidentally connected and Okada's like, well, are we going to get this again for another belt? We just did this within the Don Callis family. Are we going to get it again? That's what I thought about this match. This match didn't go, oh, I'm really excited for Bandito and Kyle Fletcher on Sunday at Redemption. I am excited for it. I am. But this match didn't get me excited for that. This match got me thinking, I hope we don't get another Don Callis feud within each other that takes 6 months and no one ever says a word to each other. They just give each other looks. I guess that's the comedy in AEW that I just don't see. I don't think that's funny. I think, oh, great. We get this slub, Okada, one of the worst wrestlers I've seen in modern day history, honestly. In today's age, he's awful. He does nothing. I don't understand the hype of him. I don't get it. But people like him. It's cool. He's got the cool, ting, flipping the coin, and he comes out. It's good music. It's good. It's fine. That's all he's got. Anyway, Bandito and Brody King win. Bandito hits his finisher on Kyle Fletcher and pins him 1, 2, 3. I wish the finisher looked better. I wish the finisher didn't have the opponent. I should have said something about Darby Allin and how he lost, how he held himself up for at least a minute, waiting for Kyle Jet to come off the top rope coast to coast and leg drop him. Like, I hated that Darby Allin did that, but I understand why they have to do it. I get it. Same thing here. Why does the opponent have to hold the ropes bent over forever, waiting for Bandito to get this thing set up? It just looks ridiculous. It looks fake. It looks phony. I hate it. I wish the move was more smooth. I wish it was because it's a cool move. It's very impressive that Bandito does it. He pulls it off. It's great. It looks great every time. I just wish the setup was more smooth because the setup is ridiculous. It's unrealistic. It's phony. It's too phony for me. I know professional wrestling is phony. I know it's not phony. They're real athletes, but I understand that they're working within tandem. Make it less obvious, please. Afterwards, Don Callis surrounds the ring, but Andrade comes out and makes a save. Cool, I guess. We get a vignette. Chris Jericho, the Painmaker, versus Ciampa at Redemption. We get a video package of highlighting the Painmaker and everything he's gone through and all the pain matches and death matches he's done. Sure. Like, I'm not really excited for 2026 Chris Jericho ever. I've been on record for that. I am excited for 2026 Ciampa. So if this makes Ciampa look good, I'm all for it. The next segment of Dynamite, we have an on-stage interview, which was really odd. But we got Mick Foley coming out, and he's going to be the moderator between Tekla and Willow Nightingale face to face. If I had a sound machine or sound effects, I'd be playing the crickets, 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 crickets. Because as much as how well Tekla speaks and how over Willow is and how well she speaks, she cuts a great promo too. She gets no credit for the promo work she does. Willow knows how to work the crowd. She knows how to get the crowd involved, and she knows how to talk. I hate to say this, and this is an AEW show, but if you get her into the developmental program in NXT, Willow would be a WWE Women's Championship champion in about, I would say, a year and a half. She's got it. I love watching her work. I wish she could reach her full potential. I don't know if she can in this system with the women she has to wrestle and the person booking her. That being said, this promo battle was hot and cold. Pretty much this is what we want. This is a true heel, true babyface coming clashing for a world championship match. Willow pretty much just, says, "Hey, it's nice to see you face to face instead of being attacked from behind, like a heel should." And then they talk trash to each other. Willow ends up calling her the B word. And then Tekla's like, "Oh, you want some? You want some?" And Mick Foley gets in between them. They're slapping each other. Mick Foley, "Hey, it's a wrestling show, but hey, we're not going to fight here on a wrestling show. We're not going to fight. Hey." And then by doing that, Tekla takes the microphone, boom, right on Willow's dome. They go to the ring. From there, Mick Foley says, too far. I'm not walking a couple feet to the ring to protect y'all anymore. You guys got past my force field. I can't help you anymore, Willow. You helped her on the ramp, but you know what? A couple feet away, too far. Can't help anymore. Sure. But hey, I do think Willow needs to dethrone that Tekla. I like Tekla. I think Tekla does great work. I think she does good mic skills. Her wrestling is whatever. It's just a wrestler. To me, she's nothing special in the ring. She's nothing bad in the ring. But her mic skills is what gets her over and what gets the fans invested. But I truly believe we need Willow to win to face Mercedes at All In, because that's the match we want to see. That's the match I want to see. I don't want to see Tekla versus Mercedes. I want to see Willow versus Mercedes. So Willow does stand tall at the very end. She hits the pounce, sends Tekla flying from the ring. She leaves. Yada, yada, yada. Willow Nightingale says, "This Sunday is the only thing standing between me and the AEW Women's World Championship." I agree with that, Willow, and I think you should win. Match number 3, Jay White versus Clark Connors. And if you think I watched this match, I have watched it. You think Jay White's going to lose his first match back? I don't know. Who knows with Tony? Who knows? Who knows? Jay White wins. David Finlay attacks White with a shillelagh. Bang, gang, gang, gang club comes out to save. Sure. Right after that, we get a backstage promo with CNC, as they call themselves these days, Copeland and Christian. They're talking, "We're bad. We're badasses. We're the champions, blah, 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 blah. Well, you want some of me, Pac? You want some of me, Claudio?" Then Pac and Claudio beat the hell out of Christian and Edge. That's it. Remember this. I want you guys to remember this. Take part in this. Note this down. Copeland and Christian are mainly baby faces. I know Christian tries to pull off the jerkiness portion of them, but baby faces. Pac and Claudio not mainly. No, there's not even an ounce of baby face in them. Pure heels associated with Moxley. All right. Just remember that. Match 4. God, if you could have left anything off the card, if you could have left anything off the card. Matter of fact, I'll take it. I'll take it a little bit further. If you were looking to cut talent and save money, I got 4 women for you. Megan Bayne, Lena Cross, Julia Hart, Sky Blue. This match sucked. These wrestlers suck. Julia Hart, she's young. She's trying to make it. The problem with her, she has no proper training. She's in with a bunch of indie-minded wrestlers who can't get her over where she should be over. She gets a push, she's down. She's a push, she's down. She's a sidekick, she's a leader. What is she? She's unexperienced. That's what it is. Then you have Sky Blue, who she's there, but she's not good either. She has a look. But other than that, I don't know what we're doing here. She can bleed and go through tables. That's what she does now. She bleeds and goes through tables. Then you have Lena Cross. I don't know who she is. Never seen her before. Don't care who she is. Then you have Megan Bayne. She's got the look. She's tall. Everything. She should be a big star. Like, if you think about it, she should be a big star with her look alone. But you have her in some jobber tag team with someone we never heard of, Lena Cross, in a hockey jersey, wrestling in a trash match against 2 jobbers. And the match takes forever. And on top of that, during this match, whoever was getting beat up, whoever was taking the hits, whoever was taking the bumps, they just stood there and let Julia and Sky Blue just do anything they wanted. They were just standing in place. And then when the heels, they're both heels. First off, the Sisters of Sin are with Tekla, heel. Megan Bayne and Lena Cross are with Mercedes, heel. So I can't even say there was a comeback or whatever. I don't know what this was. But then when Megan Bayne and Lena Cross start doing their offense, Julia Hart and Sky Blue, they stop walking and they're standing in place. Oh yeah, your turn to do your move to me. Here, let me stand here for you. Oh, you want me to do this? Oh, it was a bunch of standing around by all of them. Your turn to do a choke slam to me. I'm going to stand here. Like, nothing seemed fluid. Nothing seemed good. What are we doing here on national television putting this on? Embarrassing. Like, embarrassing. NXT doesn't even do this. And that's a developmental show. Embarrassing, man. Period. Dude, I don't understand what we're doing here. You have Bobby Lashley under contract. You have Shelton Benjamin under contract. Where are they? Are they hurt? Where are they? Why is Bobby Lashley not killing everyone? He is double the size of everybody. Where is he? What are we doing with our talent? Why are we sitting through 15-minute matches of Divine Dominion and Sisters of Sin? Why? For what reason? And the crowd didn't care. Quiet crickets. Embarrassing. Then we get the main event, trios match. The all-star team of Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Jon Moxley versus the Don Callis Jobber family and Brian Cage, Cesaro, and Jake Doyle, whoever Doyle. Doyle rules. in real life, Will Ospreay, Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, they should have beat them in about 3 minutes tops. When's the last time Brian Cage won a match? Just a match. When's the last time Hechicero won a match? Don't tell me he's the CMLL champion, Josh. He's the CMLL champion, man. Don't you watch pro wrestling? When's the last time he won a match on AEW television? Jake Doyle. Who is he? Why is he? When's the last time he's won a match on television? Period. Or a period. Why does it take the 3 top baby faces, the top 3 stars of your company, besides MJF? Why does it take them 25 minutes to beat these guys? Why is every match a pay-per-view match? You're complaining about good pro wrestling, man. I'm not complaining about good pro wrestling. Good pro wrestling is the baby faces of the all-star team beats the crap out of these jobbers to make them look strong. So when they face a good person, you go, oh, okay. Yeah. Not, wow. Brian Cage, Hechicero, and Jake Doyle, they should be in the main event at Wembley now because look how good they looked. They almost beat the crap out of the top guys. Why isn't it Hechicero versus Will Ospreay? He almost made Kenny Omega tap out. Come on, man. Like, I understand you got to give some offense to these guys, but they're jobbers, bro. Bro, you know, I've been watching the TNA documentary if I'm talking about Vince, like Vince Russo. Bro, they're jobbers. What? There's not one person on the Don Callis family in this tag team match that you would even dream about booking them to beat these guys. Brian Cage versus any of these. Nope. Nope. Hechicero, not even a chance. And Jake Doyle, nobody knows who he is. Oh, but Jake Doyle, he was really good in CML Japan Wrestling, man. Okay, I watch AEW. What's he done in AEW? What's the one signature win? Give me the one signature feud. What promo did he cut? What did he ever do? Exist. That's it. So, anyway, we get this long-ass match. The story of the match was, who is Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay? Can they coexist? Who is Will Ospreay going to tag when it comes down to it at the very end? Who is Will Ospreay going to, pick? Mom or dad? It's a divorce, brother. That's what we're doing here. We're divorcing. Will Ospreay's family's getting a divorce. He has to decide between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. There was one point in the match, very, very crucial part in the match before everything broke down, where Will Ospreay had to make a choice. Both Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega were putting their hands out, asking for a tag. And Will Ospreay had the moment to go, who do I tag? He's looking around. He's conflicted. Jon Moxley really wants to get in. Kenny Omega really wants to get in. Ospreay chooses Kenny. He chose Kenny. Jon Moxley didn't look happy about it. Commentary said something about it. Just kind of brushed over after that. It was kind of like because they all worked together in tandem. There was no tension after that. And I'm thinking, wow, they tried to create tension here. Like, they tried to create tension with the tagging, but it just went away. It was no mention of it. There was no Jon Moxley like looking at Kenny or Ospreay. There was nothing. It was just like, oh, okay, we're still in the match. Cool. All right, we're all still friends. Woo. Look, at the end of the day, Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega were working together in tandem. At one point, Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley were doing their signature move, the Death Rider signature move, where they clothesline. The guys in the turnbuckle, and they just do a train of like just clothesline. Kenny's like, whoa, I'm part of the team, brother. I want to get on this. So then we saw the 3-way, just like the Death Riders do, just boom, boom, one after another into the turnbuckle, into the corner. That was cool. They were all working in tandem still. And then Kenny Omega, like an idiot, Jon Moxley's holding one of the heels. I forgot which one, probably Jake Doyle. Kenny Omega goes for the Boom, V trigger, high knee, whatever you want to call it, knee lift. It hits Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley flies out of the ring. Will Ospreay checks on Moxley. The match still goes on, but we don't see Jon Moxley much after that. We see Will Ospreay and Kenny. They close it out. Eventually, Kenny, Ospreay, Omega win the match. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Kenny Omega pins Hechicero. 1, 2, 3. All right. Cool. We didn't see anything happen with Moxley. Everything's cool. They won. Everyone's happy. Finally, we get something. I'm thinking, like, are they going to pay this off? Is anything going to happen? Kenny goes right up to Moxley and apologizes. I'm so sorry. It happens. Like, puts out his hand for a handshake. It was a mistake. Clear mistake. It was as simple as day has a mistake. Simple. Plain as day. Plain as freaking day. You got to be a complete moron if you didn't see that coming. Well, Moxley says F you. Not happening. He's watching him. Whatever. It is what it is. They get head to head. Right? Mad at each other. Alphas. And this is the real life situation I'm talking about. First off, Moxley's a babyface. Ospreay's a babyface. We didn't have any Death Riders come out during this brawl because they're heels. It wouldn't make sense for them to come out. They're heels. Ospreay and Moxley babyfaces. All right. Established. Then we get the Young Bucks come out. The Young Bucks come out to save Kenny Omega. They're like, hey, why are you in my boy's face? They get in Jon Moxley's face. They take out Jon Moxley. They start fighting Jon Moxley. Ospreay doesn't like it. Ospreay starts fighting the other Young Buck dude. Probably Matt. Not sure who was fighting who. And Kenny's like, what are we doing? We're all friends, man. We're all friends, Kenny. We're all friends. So they're all fighting. The Bucks don't like Moxley. Ospreay don't like the Bucks. It's just a whole disaster. But it is real life because I have a friend, and I'm sure you all have a friend that no one else likes but you. It's true. Like, I have a friend that he's somewhat of a dirtbag, or was, and he has that reputation of being a dirtbag, but to me, he's always been a very nice person, and he's always been generous and a great dad, great person, great everything. Anything I ever need, I'll call this guy, and he always has my back. It's no question about anything in life. We're really good friends. But I know all my other friends are like, dude, that guy's a dirtbag. Like, watch your back with him. Like, yada, yada, yada. And it's been 25 years. Just perfect. Great friends. But a lot of people don't like him because of his perception and because of how he talks or how he speaks to people or how he interacts or things he's done in the past. And I'm like, guys, he's cool. He's a chill guy. But they don't like him. I can relate. Like, I can actually relate, Hey, Ospreay's like, dude, Moxley's a cool guy. Chill, we're fine. Or Ospreay's like, hey, Moxley, Kenny's cool, bro. We're chill. Like, we're fine. So they're trying to do a realistic angle, not a clear babyface, not a clear heel, just a realistic angle. But my problem with that is, and I think your problem should be this as well, is it's not realistic. It's confusing to some people. It's not confusing to me. I understand it. It's not confusing to the AEW sickos. They understand it. But what people need to understand, and I'm in the fantasy football space as well. I create fantasy football content. I have a whole nother show on that. I'm not going to plug it here. You can find it. You know who I am. But we get so caught up in the fantasy football industry where you have all these low-end independent people. You got, I'm not going to name names, but you have those people out there that have like very small subscriber count, but they're pretty popular on social media. So they think that there's something big, but they're not. And what happens is they're like, oh, I create the best content here on fantasy football. I'm the best independent content creator, and every other creator should do what I do. And if they do this, and they're creating content to swing their dick to brag that they're better content creators for other content creators, or they're creating content for content creators because they're just trying to either outdo or impress their peers. That's a loser mentality. That's why places, not going to name names like YouTube. I'm not going to name YouTube subscriber counts and how they haven't grown and how we've created a YouTube channel in 1 year and doubled their subs counts. I'll tell you why. Because we appeal to the casual fan base in fantasy football. We talk about the big names. We don't talk in gibberish. We don't give out advanced stats that would confuse the casual viewer. The casual viewer is money, right? Now, if you're not worried about building a company or building a successful company, if you want your fantasy football site to be just average and have 661 subscribers for the last 3 years with no growth, hey, but you got tools and hey, you get 5 likes on your Blue Sky post. Cool, brother. But are you growing? No, because you're not appealing to the mainstream casual audience. You're trying to be too cute for the content creators out there to say, hey, look, I'm a content creator and my stuff's good. Give me approval, Scott Fish or whoever's out there. When you should be creating for your casual audience because they're the money. Same thing here with AEW. They appeal to their only sicko fan base. You have Mick Foley coming out there, one of the biggest stars in wrestling history. And he's out there saying, hey, AEW sickos. Do you think the casual wrestling fan understands that reference? They don't. You're not appealing to the casual fan base and growing your brand. What you're doing is you're locking your brand with these complicated storylines that, again, I understand. But the casual people, they don't understand this. They can't keep up with it. They have a real life. They have a job. They have family. They have kids. They have commitments. They have other hobbies. But the AEW sickos, they don't. They sit there and they're on Twitter and Blue Sky all day talking about Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. It's cinema. And it's all day nonstop from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to bed. And they got to watch the ROH and they got to watch this and they watch everything. Where someone like a casual viewer who watches these things for, why they watch these things? Because they don't have time to watch Dynamite. Because they don't have time to watch Collision. Because they're a casual fan who watches once in a while. So if they miss an episode of Dynamite, they're lost. They don't know what happened. You have to watch every episode of Dynamite, every episode of Collision. And you know what? They don't even give us video packages most of the time. Did you guys know Adam Hangman Page returned on Collision? I didn't know because I don't watch Collision. Did they mention it on Dynamite? No. Your biggest star, one of your biggest draws, sure. One of your biggest stars returns and it's on Collision, not advertised, not video package, not referenced, nothing. Because Tony doesn't know how to appeal to the casual fan base because there is no casual AEW fan because the show's too fucking complicated. Simple as that, man. So all you content creators out there, love you guys so much. I wasn't throwing shade at anybody, but that's the mindset. If you create content for content creators, you'll never grow. If you book wrestling matches for the sickos only, you'll never grow. And people clown WWE for getting Tom Brady or talking to Tom Brady. But guess what? People will watch. And that's what matters. And I don't know why I just went on that rant, but it's true. And you cannot tell me. Tell me, hey, Bobby Fish, where's the lie? Where did I lie? All I said was the truth. And people don't like it. People are against the machine, rage against the machine, screw the man. We don't want to be corporate. I understand. I get it. Punk rock is cool, but I also like making money. So with that being said, if I was a multi-billionaire like Tony Khan and you don't care about making money, then sure, book this show for your own enjoyment. I am poor. I cannot book a show for people to come, for 2,000 people to come buy my tickets. So I have to stick to WWE 2K on the universe mode and pretend I'm booking that way. But even my 2K storylines that I self-make are better than what I see on Dynamite sometimes. So with that being said, I'm going to leave you with that. I'll be back tomorrow with the TNA Jeff Jarrett Dark Side of the Ring story, all 3 episodes. So make sure you watch them all if you want to participate tomorrow in the, we're not doing a watch along, but the review. We're going to be talking about Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, or Karen Angle, whatever she wants to be called, or you guys call her, whatever you know her as. We're going to be talking about Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. Like, we have a lot. TNA, I live in Tampa. I've been to a handful of TNA shows in Orlando, Universal Studios. Bobby has been to more than me. Bobby used to get there, sit front row, taunt the wrestlers. He was hardcore into it. So I'm excited to see what Bobby has to say about this documentary because I'll be honest, episode 1 sucked. I'm looking forward to episode 2 and 3. I hope it gets better. That being said, yeah, don't really need to cover the end. You know, I should. The end of Dynamite, Kevin Knight comes out, does an amazing jump over the top ropes, does like some backflip, not backflip, but like jumps over the ropes, like, I don't know, has the title belt like this and just boom, hits Kenny Omega in the face. That's kind of how it goes off the air. Kenny Omega stands strong. Knight symbolically claimed Jet 2 belts. It's not going to happen, Jet. All right, man, I'll be back next week. I might cover Redemption. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it yet, to be honest with you, because honestly, it's not a very good pay-per-view card to me, because I know the winners of all the matches because it's a throwaway pay-per-view. So I don't know if I'm going to buy it. But if I do, I will be there and I'll be reviewing it as well. But next week at noon, I should be back at my normal time slot. So if you're new a viewer and you're like, oh, what's this AEW Rundown? I'm usually live at noon on Fridays here on the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel. My name is Josh. This is the No Hold Barred Wrestling channel. This is Dynamite Rundown. I went long. I am sorry. But I'll see you guys next week. Peace out, guys.